we are going to watch Iron Lung Story and Ending Explained. It is a video by Gamersalt. The video link is going to be in the description. It's going to be at the top of the... It's going to be the pinned comment. So if you guys want to go and check it out, please go and give them a like, give them a check out, and let's see what this video is all about. Okay? So let's turn off the music and let's get to watching.
On a mission to explore. A convict is sent on a mission to explore certain points of interest beneath a trench in a blood ocean discovered in a strange moon deep in space. The convict being the...
Okay, so right there, that's a lot. It's a lot to figure out. So yeah, let's just... I will say though, and no offense to Mark, but it seems like small horror indie movies do better at the box office in getting attention online. Examples are Terrifier, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, for a few. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey mostly got its win because it was shock horror for the Winnie the Pooh franchise to be put into a horror movie. It's the same with the Popeye horror movie. It's the same with the Mickey Mouse horror movie. And yeah, lots of people. The horror genre is extremely stacked. But then again, so is Mark's entire brand. It's basically sitting on the back of the horror franchise. So, I mean, nothing wrong with that. But yeah, I'll let this guy finish his synopsis here, and we'll talk about that.
Protagonist of the story, knowing full well this is his execution, makes peace with his fate, discovering unimaginable things beneath this strange trench, which he could not imagine in his worst nightmares. Hi folks, I'm R, and welcome to a story which combines claustrophobia and thalassophobia together.
Thalassophobia, fear of oceans. That's true, actually. There's a lot of people. I have actually a lot of friends who have this fear. I don't really understand it myself, but I do at the same time because the ocean's scary. Just ocean's scary, period.
To present to you a game made in hell. And just when you thought fear of oceans is not already bad enough, the game doubled down with making the ocean made out of blood. I hope you find this game tormenting enough to slightly pique your interest. Keep in mind that there will be spoilers. With that said, let's dive in. No pun intended.
Okay, so game is pretty simple. You are playing a convict who is being, in order to, carry out his sentence, he is being sent down into a literal ocean of blood found on a moon. Thalassophobia doesn't make sense. The ocean just wants a hug. True. So do clowns. So do knives. So do bugs. For the one friend that hasn't, the fear of the ocean is because of visibility. Can't see what is out there. True. Fear. It's mostly the fear of the unknown, I find. Fear of the unknown and fear of the unknown comes from a fear of not being able to control. If you can't control it, it's scary. Water is out there. True. In this case, it's blood. But yeah, so you are a convict. You did something bad. You are being sent into an ocean of blood found on a random moon in order to investigate some random... Really? You're a convict. Your sentence is to go into an ocean of blood and try and find some points of interest to try and figure things out. So, let's see what happens.
Terrifying event known as the Quiet Rapture, all known stars and habitable planets vanished suddenly, only having those left in space stations and starships bewildered, desperately looking for a new home to settle in or extract resources from. Searching endlessly, with supplies almost running out, the survivors find a strange moon containing an ocean of blood, an anomaly in space. The protagonist, a convict of unknown.
Decades ago, every known star and habitable planet vanished, leaving only those who were on space stations or starships. This event became known as the Quiet Rapture. With supplies dwindling and infrastructure crumbling, survivors are searching for any trace of natural resource. In a universe of barren moons, lit by ghostlight of vanished stars. One such moon holds a strange anomaly, an ocean of blood. You are a convict, tasked with exploring this anomaly in a makeshift submarine nicknamed the Iron Lung. It was not designed for this depth, so you will be welded inside, and forward window will be closed. There was no time for training. If successful, you will earn your freedom. It's the Deathlock movie. Yay. So, yeah. It's not a fun situation. It's not a fun situation. It's extremely claustrophobic. Oh, who you are. It's not a fun situation to be in at all. I can't blame him for, being a little unhappy with having to do this job, but see what happens.
On crimes is sentenced to explore this anomaly, as no one willingly would dare to step foot in this place, or should I say, take a dip, who is trapped inside a makeshift submarine nicknamed as Iron Lung. The
Iron Lung is a very interesting choice of name too. It's like it's very much just that big iron lung that they used to have back in the day for medical purposes when you having problems with breathing or surviving without machine assistance. Have you seen Metalocalypse? Yes, I have. We will not be watching that on stream. Hi, Sean. Once you go in one of those, you couldn't come out. Yep. Polio, I think. But yeah, that's what it was. Polio. He was for polio. But yeah, from what I've seen of the game, it's extremely disorienting because you can't see outside of the vessel. I mean, glass or transparent film or material is not good for high pressure. And the deeper you go into the ocean, the more pressure there is, meaning the only way you're going to be able to survive in this is, just a completely sealed container. The last guy to be put in one of those is still alive. Oh, dang. Hopefully he's living okay. Hopefully they're living okay. Okay. But yeah, we'll get back to the video.
Marine is not designed for such depths the convict is supposed to explore, with his front window being closed shut. There was no time for training the convict, sent to a seemingly death mission for survivors desperate for any supplies, with the convict only able to earn his freedom if successful. The convict in the claustrophobic Iron Lung, not meant for such depth, is sent to the bottom of the blood-red ocean with the window sealed shut. The signal is subsequently interrupted, with the person monitoring the submarine fully losing the signal and instructing the convict that he's on his own, wishing him good luck as he will need a lot of it. Presumably the convict was sentenced to...
Yeah, that is very unpleasant to have to be doing, right? So you have no training. You barely know how this machine probably works. You have to then go to specific locations that they have, mapped out from satellite imaging above in a completely unknown terrain you cannot see. All you have are sensors to say, hey, there's something in front of you, there's something next to you. So you have to try and slowly move around those. And your only way to see what's going on the outside is a camera. I know how the machine works. It doesn't. It doesn't. Thankfully, medical technology has passed the point of the Iron Lung, but damn, I feel sorry for the people that had to go in one. And that one guy who's still in one. Yeesh. Not a video camera either, right? Yeah, no, it's just a still image camera. And to make matters worse, it's not even just a normal camera. Because they actually went over this in the movie. Remember, you're in an ocean of blood. A normal camera can't see through blood. This camera is an X-ray machine. You're just taking X-ray images in order to be able to see what the hell's going on out there. which is also a little fucked up. Not really fucked up, it's just you're not getting the best quality of imaging, and unless you're, once again, a doctor, you probably can't read those too terribly well. You can make out the vast majority of what's going on, but the images aren't great. Most cameras are pansies. A half decent one would see through blood. Sure it would. Be fine.
To death, with him only able to redeem himself if surviving this mission and coming back with useful findings, as this mission seems like a death sentence itself, with barely any chance of him surviving, being put in a flimsy submarine not meant for such expeditions.
Cruising depth in roughly 40 seconds. Stand by. I'm seeing some voltage irregularities in the instruments, so keep an eye out for sparks or flames or anything like that. Approaching maximum depth. The hull's feeling it, but it's still holding strong. Closing porthole shielding. We're starting to lose radio signal. You'll be at cruise depth soon, so returning and be careful. You're on your own. Good.
Oh my.
The written instructions.
That's just part. That is straight out of the game. That's so ominous and terrifying feeling. Just the sound design and everything. Don't like that. I have a complaint because I know how X-ray machines work, but I won't harp on it. I mean, feel free to let me know. I don't know fully how X-ray machines work, but so I'm all for getting educated. On a more serious note, the entire concept of the sub is just an obvious death sentence. Even if your bosses honored their agreement, there's a possibility that you get something from the X-ray radiation. Yeah, chances are very good about that. I think they tried to say in the movie that the metal, like the iron lung itself, should be thick enough to be able to keep the radiation away, but thankfully we're free. We don't need an X-ray. We already know what's inside you. Yeah, you. X-ray cameras are receptors, not emitters. The way they work is that you stand in front of a machine that shoots X-rays through you, and then an actual X-ray film is behind you. So it actually requires something behind you in order for it to actually. Okay, that makes sense. The film shows how much of the rays were blocked by your body. Oh, interesting. Interesting. So yeah, no, it wouldn't work whatsoever. I get, yeah, because radiation in order for it to be able to, do its thing, it needs to actually bounce, right? So unless maybe they're going off the idea that the X-rays go through so much blood that they end up bouncing back and it working anyway, maybe? I'm not sure. That is a little bit of a sonar. Kind of like a sonar. Yeah, almost like a mix between sonar and X-ray. It almost seems. Interesting. I do like the concept of them using, what's it called? X-ray for it. But sonar probably would have done a better job. Yeah. It would have been, a sonar visualizer would have been more acceptable pseudoscience, honestly. Yeah, probably. Sonar doesn't work in blood because sonar is a little bobby. These. Alright, 2 weeks ago we conducted an exploration of Moon AT5 for the first time since the Quiet Rapture, leading to the discovery of the 4th Blood Ocean. Oh, a 4th? There are 4 of these? A trench beneath the ocean surface has several points of interest. Your task is to photograph these points of interest with the SM-13's forward camera. Photos must be taken within 2 units of the specified position and 10 degrees of the specified angle. You can also use the camera to help with navigation. Only photos taken with the specified points of interest will be saved. Since you can't navigate by sight, pay attention to your coordinates and consult the map. The proximity indicators next to the sub-controls will trigger if you're getting close to an obstacle. Good luck. If you boil blood, it coagulates. The sonar would be coagulated. Oh. Tries to become sonar to coagulate. Wait, what? Want a tip? Okay, that's just for stream avatars. Okay, continuing now.
Instructions left for the convict indicate that the survivors found a fourth ocean on the anomaly moon 85, which has a mysterious trench deep.
Okay, just the simple fact that there's a fourth ocean? There are 4 oceans of just pure blood? How does that even happen? Like, how? That doesn't even make sense.
Beneath the surface, with the survivors wanting to explore it and discover if it has anything of importance. Unable to use the window to navigate due to being too deep in the blood ocean, way lower than what the submarine is intended for. With the window possibly not able to withstand the water pressure, the convict is only left with an exterior camera.
Highly iron dense liquid. Have you heard about the blood glaciers that was found IRL? Wait, what? So you get a lot of people, then you juice them. Reminds me of Blood Sea, Jesus Christ. Hold on a second. Okay, I'm Googling blood glacier right now, and all I'm getting is the movie. Yes, blood falls is a real natural phenomenon in Antarctica, where iron-rich hypersaline water seeps from the Taylor Glacier, staining the ice a deep red. Located in McMurdo Dry Valley, this bleeding glacier is not caused by blood or algae, but by oxygen-starved salt water reacting with air. Oh. Geez, that's kind of fucked up. Kind of crazy. Kind of cool. Do we have any images I can show you guys? Oh. Oh, that's metal. Oh, that's kind of metal looking. Oh my god. Woo, science. Huh. This one kind of looks like poo. But no, yeah, no, it literally looks like the glacier is just bleeding. That's crazy. Fuck yes. I think that one was taken after it had coagulated a bit. Yeah. That's cool as heck, minus the poo glacier. Yeah. See, there's a guy standing in it there? Yeah. Huh. Crazy.
Camera and proximity indicators to navigate his way in this terrifying trench, a place which seems to be barren despite its vast blood ocean. The convict is simply tasked with photographing points of interest in the trench. To compromise for the extreme conditions beneath the trench, the camera only provides black and white images with low resolution that require interpretation, similar to how X-rays look like, or at least to some degree. Using the map given to the convict with specific coordinates for points of interest to be photographed, he blindfoldedly directs the submarine, observing creepy photographs of
really quick. The console here looks a little wonky. I do like how they reimagined the entire like subs design for the movie because it looks just more natural. I do understand why it looks like this. This is in order to, you know, save on a lot of, you know, polygons and what's it called? Rendering and all that. This is a low budget game. This entire game like takes place in this box. This is the entire game. So it's it'd be extremely small, but it tells so much. Fun fact: our blood isn't red until it meets the air. True. Obviously, blood has a crush on air. Yeah, it's kind of cute. It blushes every time it gets naked in front of air. Must lurk for now. Everyone have fun. I'll be back to after I eat stuff. So yeah. Enjoy your food there, honey. Okay.
Of the bottom of the trench, with strange looking trees and properties, with nothing live to be seen, no creature, no fish, and
The hell is this? Seriously though, this is at the bottom of that ocean of blood. What would that be? Almost looks like an elephant skull. Right? Am I wrong for thinking that? Like, it looks almost like an elephant. But I guess that could also be a whale. Like whale bones.
no monster, at least for now, as he thinks what sort of creature would be able to live in these conditions. Avoiding some cliff walls, using the proximity indicators, using photographs to see how they look like, alongside some leafless and dead trees, the convict manages to pass a few points of interest when the oxygen levels in the submarine drop 1 bar. Exploring the white part of the trench.
Hi, beep boop. It's a giant sea predator. I don't know about sea predator. Because if we look back at it, where are we? We are at 511. We go back to it right here. Those teeth aren't exactly like predatory. And eyes are placed on the side of its head. So this would not be a predatory creature. This is impersonal opinion. Once again, I'm not a professional or anything. It looks massive, so it probably swallows things whole. Sure. I mean, like, even a horse will eat small critters if it gets in their food. Secretly Nessie. Yeah, there you go. Shark's eyes are also on the side of the head. Kind of. They are forward pointing. They are forward pointing, but sure. There are some predators that have like more side facing, but as a general rule, if the eyes are a point forward, they're usually predatory. Free will eat Chad if he gets hungry enough. True. I love this game. I'd also love to see a live action movie of Soma. Ooh, a live action of Soma would be good. But either way, it does have molars. Teeth aren't really meant for tearing or crush or like piercing. These are more for crushing and grinding. So better for, plant fiber and that sort of thing. That's why I'm kind of thinking this is kind of like an elephant skull. So that's why I'm a little confused. I have an upsetty kitty in the background. Not sure if you guys can hear it.
Part of the trench with not many walls around and photographs confirming that the submarine is in the void. The proximity indicator on the side gets heavily triggered suddenly, as if something is close by. Observing the photographs, as the result, nothing is seen when the indicator stops being triggered, as if something approached the submarine and then quickly left. Maybe a fish or an entity. Unsure to what approached the submarine and quickly left, the convict, in hopes of gaining his freedom, continues on his doomed expedition. Taking some more photographs, a giant monstrous fish appears.
Okay, now that thing is mostly there to ruin your day. This guy wants to ruin your day. Or sell you some chocolate. It's hard to say.
Before disappearing on the second photograph, making the convict question his own sanity if there's an actual living giant monster down there. Observing some more photographs, the submarine reaches the remains.
Yeah, once again. Honestly, but then this bottom part of the jaw, that very interesting. Not too sure. I'm still kind of like leaning towards the idea that this might be like an elephant skull they used. It's a turtle. I'm still leaning towards that this is an elephant skull, I think. But hard to say.
of a gigantic sea creature, with its bones only observable, depicting how there must have been living creatures here before at some point, or even possibly there still are some gigantic sea creatures roaming around. With only a few more points of interest left to explore, the submarine starts to show signs of damage, with pipes starting to leak gas. With time being more precious than ever, the convict doesn't waste any time to quickly get to the other points of interest.
Oh, that was another thing that I saw pop up in a lot of people's playthroughs of the game. Like, even in the movie, they asked, wait, fire? Why would there be fire? We're underwater. You're underwater, yes, you're under a liquid, but the inside isn't. Electrical wires, high voltage and all that, like, there's still flammable things inside this machine, right? And because this thing isn't designed for this kind of depth, it's slowly getting crushed. The simple fact that it's not crushed already is because it was pressurized a bit better. But it's still getting a lot of strain on it, and it's been down there for a long period of time.
And leave this isolated place, a place which could lead to the worst type of death imaginable, stuck in a submarine at the bottom of an unknown trench under an anomaly moon, possibly stalked by a monster, left to die due to suffocation in an agonizing manner. Soon, a fire starts to be ignited in the submarine, something that is a sign of malfunction in there. As the convict starts to lose hope, extinguishing the fire, knowing that this will be possibly his end, he writes a note, not that it will be recovered.
This is not an expedition. It is an execution. When they put you in here, they don't want you to return. And even if you do, and even if they keep their promise, what freedom waits for you? A few dying ships in a sea of dead stars? If there is still hope, it lies beyond the veil. Hope in this void is as illusionary as the starlight. I will choose to breathe my last here, at the bottom of an ocean, unseen, unheard, and uncontrolled. They will get their execution. I will get my freedom. So this actually almost makes me think, like, because this note shows up in the movie, okay? It does show up in the movie, but Simon, the character that Mark plays, he's not the one who wrote it. It was in the ship before he got there. It almost makes me want to think that the movie is a sequel to the game, almost. Almost makes me want to think that. Interesting thought. I don't know.
And read by others, but to soothe his isolation and negative thoughts, to comfort himself with the thought of death.
This is not an expedition. It is an execution. When they put you in here, they then want you to return. And even if they do, and even if they keep their promises, what freedom waits for you? A few dying ships in a sea of dead stars? If there is still hope, it lies behind the veil. Hope in this void is as illusionary as the starlight. I will choose to breathe my last here at the bottom of an ocean, unseen, unheard, and uncontrolled. They will get their execution, and I shall get my freedom.
He explains in the note how this is not truly an expedition, but a severe and cruel execution, as this is seemingly a one-way trip. The convict ponders the slim chance of survival and how it is more grim than dying alone here in the iron lung. He thinks how it is more miserable to get out of this alive, just to go back to starships stranded in the middle of a barren space with no habitable planet, just left to die slowly with no hope of survival, spending every second to find any supply possible. The convict accepts his fate that he will die in the submarine, which is slowly breaking down, with this being the execution that the survivors want, and that it will also be his freedom, as he won't have to be stuck in another vessel, stuck in another void, being the empty space after the quiet rapture. Hearing strange noises and sounds, the convict continues on his journey.
Oh man, that bubbling? Oh, that's messed up.
while the submarine shows more signs of dilapidation and falling apart.
Voice recognition technology in a lift in Scotland. I think that's just the people that he hired for this. This guy doesn't sound like he's native English either. So nothing wrong with that. Some of my best friends are Scottish. Or Irish. And Irish. Scottish and Irish. Yeah.
Trying to explore the last point of interest with the oxygen levels at critical levels, the convict hears a loud bang on his submarine, taking him out of course. At this point, he becomes paranoid that some sort of entity is outside.
Please tell me someone tell me they get the reference. For 11? The only 11 reference I'm getting is Stranger Things. I'm sorry, Sean. I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure. But yeah, when I watched Chibidoki's playthrough of this game, I can smell the reference. When I watched Chibidoki's playthrough of this game, there was it was very sudden. Like, a lot of the beats that they had in the movie, like, the game seems to have a lot of similar beats as it was in the movie, but the movie added more context to it. So it's a little, it feels a little jarring in the game, because suddenly you're in one spot and then suddenly there's a plunk and then you're in a different spot. In the movie, something drastic happens. And then, yeah, now he's in a different spot and needs to get out. I'm liking the added context, for sure. But then again, once again, this was an indie game. This was a small developed game that became a massive success and spawned an amazing movie. So, interpretation's key.
Iron Lung, stuck in camp and possibly looking for its next meal. Taking a photograph, the convict observes in horror a large eye looking.
Oh, that's a big eye! That's a very big and recognizable eye. And now that I think about it, you wouldn't be able to get something like that on an X-ray camera. Interesting.
Directly at the camera, being a gigantic live sea creature, something the convict was not expecting at all. Traversing a little further, the monster seems to leave the submarine, with the convict getting back on his course to explore the last point of interest. Approaching the point, the submarine starts to leak in the blood, with the conditions becoming critical, with the convict's predictions almost coming true. As the convict tries to take a photograph, the monster that was seemingly stuck in the submarine finally breaks through and seemingly consumes the protagonist in a brutal manner. Subsequently, the survivors only manage to find.
The expedition ultimately raised more questions than answers. Satellite images showed pieces of the SM-13 scattered all over the bottom of the trench, as though it had been torn apart by some huge beast. The wreckage cannot be reached at this time. No photographs have been recovered. The stars shine pale as bone. The moon is a lifeless corpse. Its ocean, a gaping wound. The universe, what's left of it, is dying. But somewhere in the void, there must be hope. Damn, I thought that was a tooth. Nope, that was an eye. That was an eye.
Parts of the SM-13, the camera, scattered at the bottom of the trench. They don't manage to recover any photographs, and the submarine is also unrecoverable at that point. The survivors still hope for survival when the story comes to an abrupt end. This shows the brutal fate of the unnamed protagonist, who's convicted of unknown crimes, sent to his death in a submarine that is not meant for such expeditions. This shows the cruelty the survivors show to this presumable convict, as they are in desperate times, looking for any way to find supplies and survive just one more day. Although seeming civilized at this point, it wouldn't take long for the survivors to turn against each other and think selfishly only about themselves. That's it for this video, folks. If you enjoyed it, you can stay tuned by hitting on the subscribe button and the notification bell. It's been your host Dar, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.
Very good video. Very good video. That was fun. Getting meal here. Very good move. Very good time with that. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the movie. Once again, if you have not seen that movie, please, for the love of everything, go see it. Go see it. I don't know if it's still in theaters. I hope it might still be for you. And if it is, take an evening, go check out that movie. It's so good. It is so good. Definitely worth a watch.